Well, if you're a pet owner that's going to be dressing your dog or cat up this Halloween, you aren't alone. Americans are actually spending a whopping $350 million on pet costumes this year. But all the other Halloween goodies could be potentially dangerous for your pets. We're joined this morning by Dr. Jim Zoet. Zoet
Yeah.
From Madison Veterinary Specialists. He's here with some tips on how to keep your pets safe. And good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So I was telling you earlier that I do have a dog, my little Dolce, and I do get her dressed up for Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah, and
yes,
that's
we see a lot of that.
That could present a problem, I hear.
Sometimes it can. You just have to be careful. Like Ori here is wearing a nice, easy collar that's not too tight. We're concerned sometimes about the full collars that can entrap the legs and maybe twist off the circulation, but you just have to be a little careful. They can get them caught on things, and they need to be under supervision when they have costumes on. But.
Right. And one thing, if your pet happens to get into some trouble during Halloween,
yes,
what should someone do?
Well, I think a couple of ways you can hopefully prevent or avoid trouble. The big thing is what they can get into. The other thing is just how they behave in their home. It's going to be a busy evening. The doorbell's going to be ringing. If you have a dog that's one of those kind of skittish dogs, doesn't like fireworks, stuff like that, you might put them back in a bedroom. Just let them kind of rest out the night and give them their favorite treat or something and keep them back there. And cats the same way. The last thing we want is a dog or a cat to sneak through the door and get out. It's going to be high traffic in these areas, and there's a bigger potential for them to get injured.
Right.
Even the indoor-outdoor cats, we certainly want to keep them in on this night, especially it's Friday night this year, so it's going to be a lot more going on, maybe a little more people out than normal. And then certainly the other thing is going to be what they can get into as far as the chocolate.
Right, the candy. And that can present a problem. Some candy is toxic.
Correct. We've brought a sample, of different toxicities. I guess I'll talk about the chocolate first. That tends to be the most popular thing that I think everybody's aware of. Chocolate comes in, milk chocolate is what we see mostly at Halloween. The darker chocolates, as it gets darker, becomes more severe, and smaller amounts are more toxic.
Okay.
Your dog is a Pomapoo, so very small compared to somebody like Ori. Ori can eat probably a bag of these, and we'd be pushing toxicity levels where we might see the first signs. Basically, what's in chocolate is called theobromine and caffeine, which we all know what caffeine is. And so these dogs get a hit of stimulant that really makes them kind of hyper, is what we might first see. Vomiting and diarrhea is what we might see next. And certainly as it gets more toxic, we'll start to see the heart get affected, and also seizures and tremors. So it gets pretty severe.
So it's mainly the chocolates.
It's mainly the chocolates.
It's also raisins.
We also, people hand out a lot of raisins, which that goes along with grapes. Raisins and grapes will affect their kidneys pretty severely. And
now, how would a pet owner know if there's an emergency, if there was need to call their veterinarian?
Perfect. And that's what we'd recommend. If they get into something, the first thing they should do is call their veterinarian or call the emergency service where we're at 24/7. They can call us on the phone. We are able to talk to them and say, is this an emergency? Do you need to bring that pet in? Are they exhibiting signs already? Couple of things to think about when they do call. A nice thing to have is save the wrapper, bring it in with the pet.
You'll know what they've indulged in.
Yeah, we can then figure out, here's how much we got into. Is this a problem or not?
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, really appreciate that information.
Absolutely.
And if your pet does happen to get into some trouble this weekend, Madison Veterinary Specialists is a 24-hour emergency services clinic. It's located off the Beltline near the Rimrock Road exit on Beltline Highway. And for more pet safety tips, you can head to their website, mvsvets.com.